Happy Sunday and welcome into another Arkansas football recruiting report. As always, that's Otis Kirk. I'm Jacob Morris. Otis, a lot to cover today. A lot of 2026 recruits setting official visits to Arkansas. We're going to roll through a couple of them. And we start with Colton Yarro, an edge from Durant, Oklahoma, a really high priority target for Arkansas, a big time get if they can hold on to him, a guy they feel really good about. Number one player overall in Oklahoma, setting a visit in the third week of June there.
Yeah, Colton committed to Arkansas. We had him on here the Sunday after he committed, or I think no, it's the following week we had him on here because he committed on Saturday. I went down there and then he committed. He went on either that next day or the next Sunday, whatever. We had him on. It's been a while. I've slept since then, but yeah, he'll be here. He's 6'6", 242 pounds. I saw him play against Gravett. I tell you what impressed me probably more than anything about him was his speed. He's got unreal speed. He could play linebacker. I'm serious, Jacob. He's really strong. And what's impressive about Colton, you saw him on here. I mean, he's big, but he looks like he could put on 70 pounds and not lose any weight. He's 6'6". He looks almost, he's not skinny, but he almost looks that way. Man, if that kid ever fills out, and he will, he's going to be dangerous. I mean, as fast as he is, and 242 pounds, but I'm serious. I've talked to him about that. I mean, it looks like he could put on another 60, 70 pounds and not lose a second of speed. He's just got an incredible body, and he's fast, and he's a good ball player. His team's not very good. The team he played on this year, where Durant was not very good. I just be honest with you, but and we talked about that. But he didn't point a finger. He just said, hey, they played Gravett, a good team out there, hard that night, but lost in the really ran out of gas in the second half. I think at halftime it was real close. But yeah, he'll be here. Arkansas obviously needs to hang on to him. I think I don't see an issue if the coaching staff stays in place. I don't see an issue, but I mean, in recruiting, you never know, Jacob. I know. Everybody listening to this knows you can never say for sure till it's signed. And then I don't even know if you can say it after the sign. I mean, wide receiver a year or two ago signed with Arkansas. Sam announced it, and like a week later, he's wanting to go to A&M, or he went to A&M. So I don't know if it's ever safe to say, yeah, they're coming. But I feel good about. I know his entire family's Razorbacks. They're Razorback fans. He's had some. I thought he told me his grandma, but I think his mother told me it was his uncle that graduated from here. Anyway, he's had a relative graduate from Arkansas, so Colton's got ties here, so I see him sticking, but we'll see. I mean, I sure hope so because not only is he a great player, he's a great kid. I've known him for quite a while, and we're friends, and I just know this is where he wants to go. I'd hate to see something change that because I know this is really where he wants to go. I don't get involved in that, but with him, I kind of do because I've known him for a long time, and I know I know his mom and dad, stepdad. And of course, Mr. Cooper, the guy at the fitness center down there, he gave me his office, gave me the keys, told me he's leaving, gave me the office that day. I went down there. He had to be gone for a couple hours, so I manned the office. It's great people, man. Those are just good people down there, and I know how bad he wants to be a Hog, so I hope it all works out for him.
Yeah, visit coming up in June for him, and it was so impressive talking with him about obviously just his knowledge of the game, but you said it, just a really mature kid in terms of has his head on straight and really just, it was straightforward about his priorities and said, hey, yeah, the Arkansas staff stayed in touch with me and, it's where I want to be. I was like, all right, fair enough. That's a good spot to be in if you're Arkansas.
Next up, did a great job on him. A great job. Not just Pittman, but Deke Adams really deserves a lot of praise there.
Yeah, he talked about Deke Adams in that interview we did with him and talked about how, just the coaching staff's available anytime they need him, which is something we've heard kind of over and over again. Next up, we go to a athlete from Texas, wide receiver athlete, Dequane Prevo. Same sort of June 20th target date for him as well. A guy Arkansas wants on campus as well, wants all these guys on campus eventually.
Yeah. Dequane's a 4-star. He's at the Under Armour combat camp today. Working out, trying to build his stock up, and Dequane's just outstanding. I see him playing receiver. I know people call him an athlete, and that's what he's listed at. But I think he'll play receiver, but he could play defensive back. But Dequane is just and he'll probably return kicks or punts too. He's very good, but very athletic, high 4-star recruit. Just a kid that Arkansas did a good job getting him, and that Texarkana area, he's from Liberty Ilo High School. That's a hot area down
Mhm.
there. Landon Jackson from Pleasant Grove. They produce some talent. Ryan Mallett from Texas High. I mean, they produce some talent down in that Texarkana area, especially on that Texas side.
Mhm.
And when you get into those schools like Liberty Ilo, Pleasant Grove, man, I've coached against them when I coached baseball at Mena. And they got some athletes down there. I'm telling you, man, I coached baseball against them, and I tell you what, there's some talent down in that Texarkana area. Believe me, in all sports. But yeah, he'll be here, and that's another one that Arkansas. I think he and Yarborough are two. They've got a lot of good kids. And Tay Lockett, they've got a lot of good players committed that 2026 class. I'm telling you, if this class holds and they add like I think they will, Jacob, this could be the best class Sam Pittman's ever had at Arkansas.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really talented, that 26 class is. We've had Tucker Young on here.
Mhm.
We've had Tay Lockett. We've had the offensive Tucker Young from Lakeside. We've had, I think, all of them just about on here. I think we're missing one or two. But boy, other than that, we've had them all on here, and that's a talented class. And we're going to talk about some other kids coming up that's coming in for official visits. And there's some talent in that group. And there's going to be more talent added in official visits as we come. This is just started, just kind of new. So, I mean, not new, it's nothing new, but I mean, it's kind of just putting the list together. That the evaluation period ended on
Mhm.
February 1st. And so they're putting together now what they went out and saw in December and January. So it's just coming together, the list is, but yeah, it's an impressive list. It's going to get more impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Next one we're going to talk about. Let's keep up the trend. Somebody who also came on the show, the Arkansas football recruiting report bump, we'll call it. Jayvon Kilgore, quarterback out of South Carolina. He committed last August. We talked with him, and again, really just an impressive kid overall. If you have a chance to go check out that interview, definitely do so. Quarterback out of South Carolina, and another guy, obviously, that in that 26 class, Arkansas is looking to get on campus.
Yeah, he actually did come home the day after Colton committed, and then Colton came on the phone. So okay, hey, bro, you mentioned Jayvon brought back because Jayvon and I talked. I was on my way to Durant, Oklahoma that Saturday, and Jayvon and I talked on the phone, and we talked about coming on the next day, and then we were talking about Colton, and he said, he was going to call him, and I said, I don't think it's necessary. He's already committed, man, but he already committed last Sunday, but or Saturday when he was up for the junior day, but Jayvon was ready to recruit that day, but it wasn't necessary because, but that's just the type of kid he is. He's 6'5", 195 pounds, talented quarterback, more of a thrower than a passer. I'm sorry, more of a thrower than a runner, more of a thrower than a passer. Okay, it makes sense to that, but I never claimed to be smart. More of a passer thrower than a runner. I'm sorry, but yeah, Jayvon is okay. He can run, but
Mhm.
he prefers to stay in the pocket. He's got 6'5". He's a really tall kid. He may be 6'6". Honestly, I've seen him. I don't know, man. It's hard for me. I'm not close to that height, so it's hard for me to judge. But he's 6'5", 6'6", every bit 6'5", and he can see over the line, and he prefers to hang in there and throw it instead of run it. And but yeah, he is a more, like I said, more preferred passer thrower than a runner. So but yeah, they're getting him on campus, and that'll be May the 30th weekend. That's for three. They come in May the 30th, and they leave it'd be the June the 1st. It's usually on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not always, but that's what they usually are, and that's what that is, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Jayvon will have a good time here. I think he's solid too. I think all three of those kids we've talked about are solid for now. Who knows what's going to happen? Well, I guess in September. I mean, I'm sorry, December. So you got 10 months to go till the
Mhm.
signing day. But right now, I think they're all solid, and those are, and I feel good about them. And but yeah, and we'll just keep an eye on them. But I feel good about those kids. But Jayvon is the type kid that you can come in, let him probably red shirt, kind of like KJ did last
Mhm.
year. KJ Jackson play a game or two,
Yeah.
red shirt. Obviously, if he needs to go in there and throw, play, he can, but probably the best, no matter whether it was Jayvon or anybody else, probably the best route would be to do what they did with KJ, bring him in and let him play and get his feet wet, but not burn a red shirt because you'll have you'll have, you'll have some older quarterbacks, I mean, they signed 2 in this class. They got on
Hmm.
they one's on campus, one's coming, and you still got KJ, Blake Boda. So you've got some quarterbacks on campus, but Jayvon is somebody I'm sure he will come in and compete for the job, and if he wins it, then obviously he's your man. But if he doesn't win it, I think you take the KJ Jackson route and let him get his feet wet that way.
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, he was impressive when we talked with him because he didn't sound like a
Yeah.
typical high school quarterback. I think, we asked him something simple like, for Razorback fans, describe what type of player you are or something like that. And he talked about exactly what you mentioned there, where he just said, I like to sit in the pocket and beat teams with my
Yeah.
arm, which is that you don't usually hear that
No.
from a high school kid, especially at that point, not a senior, right? And it was just impressive to hear him talk like that because that's not typical.
Yeah, he has the athletic ability to
Yeah.
run. I don't want to lead people to think that he's not athletic. He's just a statue. He's not a statue back there. He
No.
can run. He just prefers to hang in there to the last minute. And like you said, that's unusual because usually when the pocket breaks down, the first thing the kids want to do with their is to just
Yeah.
take off. He's not that way. And I've watched film on him. He stays in
Hmm.
there and he'll take a lick or two, but he'll get rid of the ball, but he'll take some lick. But he's 6'5", 200 pounds. He's big enough to take some. He's only gonna get bigger. So he's
Yeah.
big enough to take some, but I just want to tell people he is athletic enough that if he needs to run it, he will. He just prefers to hang in there and deliver the pass and let the receivers and tight ends and running backs get the pass, take off with the ball, and let them do their thing. But yeah, he's smart. Yeah, he's very smart kid, good leader, and somebody that Bobby Petrino kind of handpicked there to be quarterback in this 2026 class.
Yeah. It just was fascinating to hear a high school kid talk about, I like to sit there and go through my progressions. And it's usually at the high school level, it's if read one's not there, I'm running for my life, right? So
Yeah, especially one that can,
yeah,
especially one that
yeah,
can. He
that,
can, but
yep.
he's just not that. That's not his preference.
Yeah, good sign for sure. Next, we'll go offensive line. Ben Maanga, a guy from Buford, Georgia, an offensive lineman, and a guy with official visits already set up with Florida State and NC State as well. Interest from LSU, Auburn, all over the place.
Yeah,
A big-time target
yeah,
for the Razorbacks here in the 26
yeah.
class.
He has actually got one set to LSU now for May the 30th too,
Okay,
Jay, because
there
I
you go.
talked to him, and he's got that set. His top 5 was Florida State, NC State, LSU, Arkansas, and Louisville. Right now,
Okay.
Louisville's the only one that doesn't have a visit set. They did not as of 9 o'clock this morning. Maybe 10 o'clock in Buford. I think that's Eastern time. But June the 6th is Arkansas's visit. He will see LSU first. Then he will go to Arkansas, then to NC State. Florida State will get that 4th visit. Right now, that'd be his final one, but I don't know if he will add Louisville or someone else. But that's
Mm,
his top 5. He released that recently, but right now that's his top. He's got a lot of offers. 4-star recruit. One of Mateus's priorities in this class. He's got 1 or 2 offensive linemen already committed in that class, but this is the type kid that you take. You take him if you're full. You still take him. You find you don't pass on Ben Mabinga. So, he's a big kid, 6'5", 280. Only going to get bigger, probably bigger than that. To be honest with you, he, but he will be here on June the 6th, state weekend, and somebody that I know they're anxious to get on campus, show what he can, and show him what they have to offer, and try to get him in the bag here coming this class with Tucker Young and other offensive linemen. So he's the type, and he's the type player that would give Colton Yarro, Ari Slocum, and those guys run for the money in practice going against each other. So have those guys go to 2-on-2. He and Tucker against those 2 defensive linemen. It would be fun. So maybe we'll get to see that sometime. But yeah, he's coming in, and hey, you got a chance. A lot of people might say Florida State's his favorite, but that's to be determined. But you're going up against. I mean, you're going up against LSU, Florida State, NC
it's
State, and
tough.
Louisville.
Yeah.
It's good competition, and so if you get him, you've earned it. But Eric is a good recruiter, very good recruiter,
Mhm.
and he's gonna give it a shot. And that's all you do. You recruit those kids. You recruit enough of them, you're gonna get your share of them. Whether you get to him or not, we'll see. But that Buford program down there is a really good program, and they turn out kids. I mean, that's a college feeding ground. It's very,
Mhm.
very loaded every year with college prospects, and this year will be no different.
Yeah, I mean, that's a heck of a finalist list, but you're on the list.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. So you give yourself a shot and you kind of see where the chips fall. Let's head back to the defensive side of the ball and talk Brillan Edwards, a cornerback, Duncanville, Texas, and similar sort of deal with when you look at that, those finalists. Same sort of deal, Auburn, Utah, Wisconsin in there as well, and Arkansas getting to visit with him and, hoping for the best to pull in the corner from Duncanville.
Here's what I like about this visit list. Brillan Edwards from Duncanville. And Duncanville's like Buford,
Yes.
Georgia. It's
Yep.
just football. Jaquindon Jackson, you know him. They turned out, I think that's where Crook was from. The line Jordan Crook that played here and then went to Arizona State, played in the national champion, played out there in a tournament this year. But Brillan Edwards, he goes to Utah. I'm sorry, he goes to Auburn first, then he goes to Utah, then to Wisconsin, then Arkansas right now will get the last visit. And if that holds, you feel good. As long as he takes that visit, you feel good getting that last one because heck, they need quarterback. Woodson is on him and Marcus Woodson. And that would be that school down there. Like I said, you get into Duncanville, they got somebody every year. And well, they've got several every year. I'm not going to say they got somebody every year. It's really selling them short. They've got several every year. And Arkansas had some luck there, and they're going to try to get Brillan cornerbacks. They need corners. They didn't recruit hard as I mean, they didn't land as many high school defensive backs in this 25 class. They did well in the portal, and in junior college, they got the #1 junior college corner,
Mm-hmm.
but in Davila, but they didn't get as many high school kids as they might have wanted for whatever. Maybe they got all they wanted. They want to do it through the portal. I don't know, but it was kind of a like high school class in the secondary. But this year they're going to target a few more there. And Brillan Edwards would be a nice get. And if that holds and Arkansas gets the last visit, I like Marcus Woodson. Word I get is Utah may be the favorite for him. So we'll see. I mean, you look at that list, you think Auburn, Wisconsin, and Arkansas. You think maybe Utah will probably be fourth, but I'm hearing that may be where he's leaning. But we'll see. I mean, it's early. He hasn't taken these official visits yet. And Arkansas is closer. And Utah's where Jaquindon went. We don't, so they've got some ties there. I guess Utah does to that school, but Arkansas does too. But maybe Jaquindon could help sell him on Arkansas too. So we'll see. But but anyway, that's the 4 right now. He may add some more visits. He's got plenty of time to do that. But if he truly takes only 4 visits and Hogs get the last one, I like their chances there.
Yeah, it's interesting with the debate of getting the last shot at somebody versus you do have to hope they make it to you in that situation too, right? That's part of it. But if they do, that's the good spot to be in. Let's stick on the secondary side of it and talk Xavier Harmon, another Texas corner, and Utah again in a visit list as well. TCU, K-State, end of May is the official visit for Xavier Harmon. But again, like you said, trying to rope in some corners in this 26 class.
Yeah, he's going to take an early visit to TCU.
Yeah,
early, and then he's going to come into Arkansas. Then he's going to look at Utah after that, and then Kansas State after that. And so we'll see where he ends up. But there again, he's like Brillan. He's just a corner who could probably help immediately. If not, could certainly play pretty quick. And and so he's 6'1" or 6'2", 183 pounds. So you like his size. You really like his size. 6'2" cornerback. They got Kanai from Walker from OU that came in like 6'3", 6'4".
long.
But 6'2" is really 6'2" is really good for a cornerback too. Most of them are not built like Kanai Walker. But this kid's a good size player, and Arkansas, and he's got looking at his offer list today. He's got 5 SEC offers. Four besides Arkansas. They're not on that visit list, but that's right. They're not on the visit list, but he has 4 other offers, So it's not like the SEC's not recruiting him. Right now, he's looking at going out of state and possibly if he doesn't go to TCU and Arkansas, Utah, and Kansas State offer him the opportunity. But if he stays in SEC, you got to feel good about the Hogs.
Yeah, that's another guy. I think it's an interesting point you make just about that. You don't find that type of size, right? Usually in the secondary. So if you have an opportunity to get a guy like that, go ahead and do it. I think it's an interesting, larger discussion as well with secondary positions across college football. You mentioned a little bit earlier there when we were talking about Brillan, just in terms of I think teams are going to continue to lean a little bit on the portal in a position that requires so much development, right? It's not the high school is going to matter any less. In fact, it's all the more important to develop guys like
Right.
that. But it is just sometimes it's hard to hit on these corners, right? So if you can find a proven commodity, sometimes that's going to be preferable, but it doesn't mean that you can't or that you shouldn't be recruiting high school. You still have to. I think it just is a position that time and time again, you're going to look for proven commodities as well.
Yeah, you want to keep the Selvin Bridges in your program, let them develop. And, because the portal kids, you're talking 1 to 2 years mostly, maybe 3 on if you're lucky, but let's be honest, most of it's 1 to 2 years on the portal kid. So you want to have a Selvin Bridges. So maybe he redshirts, then he plays a little bit as a redshirt freshman. Okay, let's say he plays a sophomore. You still get 3 years out of him, 3 good years. That's not counting whatever you get as a redshirt freshman. So if the high school part is important, they may not just make the immediate impact, but it doesn't lessen, as you said, it doesn't lessen the importance of them. It may just limit the immediate impact of them because you've got older kids there. But you bring them along, that's kind of like a Cam Ball. We was freshman, he was a defensive line, but the same thing. He didn't play that. He played some, but he wasn't. What? Now he's going to be a star. He's been here. This will be his 4th year. And that's what I'm saying. It was interesting to see Eric Gregory going to the NFL Combine. I wrote that story Thursday or Friday, and he was the only kid that came from high school that was on that list. The rest of those kids were all portal additions. Brandon and Jaquindon Jacksons and. All of them were portal. Armstrong and Isaac were all portal except for Eric Gregory. So it's proven that if you stay in the program, you'll shine. You just may not be the immediate shining that a lot of these kids think they're going to do or want to do it. And I get they want to do it, but if they hang it tight and stay with the program, their time will come. And that's just kind of like we were talking about. And that's true at all positions, not just cornerback. That's true at all positions, but you're right. Right now, schools kind of lean to going with the older hands, and but that doesn't lessen, like you said, a Selman Bridges or a Cameron Ball or an Eric Gregory. There's always going to be a place for those kids, and they come along and and develop and play meaningful plays, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've said it time and time again. Portal has to be an asset. It has to be used. It cannot be what any position group is completely built upon. You got to continue high school recruiting and develop from there. Last guy we're going to Yeah, absolutely. Last guy we're going to talk about here, Hugh Smith, Missouri City offensive lineman, offers Ole Miss, Vandy, Arizona State, a couple different places. And like you mentioned with Coach Mateos, he's done such a good job recruiting that position group, and another guy that he would really like to get on campus for the Hogs.
Yeah, he's got Arizona State. He's got a ton of offers. I threw down the SEC offers he had, but he's got a ton of offers. Arizona State and a bunch of schools have offered him. And he's 6'5", 280. I talked to him this morning. He and his family were driving back to from Dallas to Missouri City, Ridgeport High School. They were driving home to Houston area from Dallas. All these kids right now, so many of them are tied up with AAU or 7-on-7, or not AAU. I mean, Under Armour camps, combines, 7-on-7 tournaments and stuff. So it's hard to get them on here. But he talked to me this morning on the phone, on the phone, and but he loves Arkansas. He'll be here June the 6th through the 8th. Loves Arkansas. That's he's got that visit set up right now. He really likes Mateos. He's been here before. He's seen the campus. He's been here before. He's coming back, and he's very excited about it. So that's somebody that you get he and Ben, on that offensive line to go with what they've got. You're looking pretty good. So it's good that these kids showing this early interest in setting these early visits to Arkansas. And like I said, doesn't mean you'll get them, but it gives you, you get them on campus, it gives you a chance. If you don't get them on campus, you're not getting them. So it gives you a chance. And so that's the key right there. All you want is get your foot in the door, get a chance, make an impression. Like I said, Colton Yarro, they hung, competed with him, and it paid off, and other kids too.
You just have to put yourself in the running. You got to give yourself a shot. Listen, you're not going to go 100%, but if you don't give yourself the opportunity, you're going to go 0%, right? Yeah,
exactly. And if you get them on campus, I've done this for many years, and that's the one thing I've talked to kids about is they all of them, and it's a little bit different with the internet now, where they can
Hmm.
see the campus and stuff before they get here. But kids used to just be blown away. They'd think Arkansas, the stadium propped up with broomsticks and rubber bands and held together. But it's changed with the internet. But I still hear it every year just how much
Hmm.
better it is in Fayetteville and Arkansas than they thought. And one thing, they can see the town and see the town,
Hmm.
and it's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of kids. And you can't sign everybody anyway. You sign about 20 high school kids now. I know they're allowed more, but that's about what you sign, 20, 25 kids from the high school, because you're saving your scholarship for portal kids too. So, but anyway, it appeals to a lot of kids, and
Hmm.
I still hear it, Jacob. It's just a lot better than I thought it was. I looked on the internet, still a lot better, and I hear that constantly. Like I said, I used to really get some good reactions to that question because, like I said, I swear some of them I think. And then when they come in the airport out there, out there at the airport, they see those animals and stuff, and they see that country roads going nowhere. I think they thought, "Oh man, what have I gotten into?" But when they get to Fayetteville, they see, "Hey man, there's no propped up stadium. It's real and stuff." And so, yeah, it just helps so much to get these kids. And I think it helps Arkansas more than maybe some of the other schools because you can get that personal feel here. And I hear too, when the kids go out to eat, they're rock stars. I mean, I've
Hmm.
had one kid after another tell me, "Man, I go in the restaurant, these people already know my name. And I'm a high school kid, I'm not even here. They already know my name. And they know there's no NFL team here in Arkansas
Yeah.
to compete with. I know there's Dallas and Kansas City fans and Rams fans like me, but there's no in-state school pro team. So I think that appeals to like I said, nothing appeals to everybody, but you don't have to. If you can get 20, 25 kids that this is where they want to go, and you've already got about 8 or 9 committed. I think 9 committed,
Mhm.
so you don't have to get that many more. But you got to get the right ones, and that's what Arkansas is trying to do.
We've heard that time and time again. It's a good point by you from the coaching staff specifically. They've been public about Coach Pittman has talked about it. T. Will has talked about it. If we can just get these guys on campus, we feel really good about our chances. And I think that's a lot of places, but it is interesting how much Arkansas talks about that. I think there's some misconceptions sometimes with recruits or anybody else about what Arkansas is like, and then when they get on campus, all of a sudden it's a real good reaction.
That point you just made, I think that's why it helps Arkansas more than the others, because I think there is a perception about Arkansas, misconceptions and
Yeah.
perceptions that Arkansas is kind of a poor state that
Yeah.
maybe it's not. They just don't understand how nice it really is in
Hmm.
Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas period, but Northwest Arkansas. And I think that impresses them more so. I mean, I think when kids go visit an SMU or TCU, for instance, someone kid down here visiting TCU, they know what Fort Worth is all about. They know
Yeah.
what the Dallas is all about. Nothing against those, but I'm just saying, when you go to UCLA or USC, you know what LA is about. But Fayetteville, I think there's a lot of misconception, bad perception out there of Arkansas, and I think they see it, and that's why I think it's more important that it's important for everybody to come on campus, but I think it's more important for Arkansas from that standpoint. I mean, it's really important because I think kids really are impressed. I mean, they've gotten kids from California coming out here, and
Hmm.
hey, when you go to drive in LA and you come out here and you see it's not nearly that traffic's crazy. I mean, 2:30 a.m. and bumper to bumper on the interstate out there. I've been there, done that. So, it's just different here. And you get perturbed here at times with the slow traffic, but boy, when you compare it to there, it's just so much better. So yeah, it's great to get them on campus. And I think that really that's why I think it does help Arkansas maybe more than the normal school, Jay.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Well, a list of 2026 guys Arkansas would really like, and we'll keep you posted as visits come around. But a long list of guys that Arkansas could add, have committed, and kind of shape up that 2026 class as we move towards that and get about a year away, which is crazy to think about. But that's going to do it for this week's Arkansas Football Recruiting Report. That's Otis Kirk. I'm Jacob Morris. We'll talk to you next week.